Take Brian Cell, I'll do Smith's.
House must have been burning, can't you, Doreen?
What are you talking about?
Oh, Mrs. Powell, it's real strong.
Yeah.
Mr. Faulkner! Mr. Faulkner!
I'll get the extinguisher.
Yeah, and sound off the alarm.
Get him out of the corridor.
Well, I'm starting to become second nature to him.
Babe, the extinguisher. The one with the booze in it.
Oh, hell, the whole place will go up.
This is bloody useless. Get another extinguisher.
And Sister Franklin, quick.
Right. Oh, the one on the reception, best bet.
Oh, don't be ridiculous.
You can't touch the ones in the prison.
Oh, just get one, will you? Hurry. Call the police and the ambulance. Make sure the women are clear of the building.
Right.
Steve! Steve!
Wendy, ring the fire brigade and an ambulance, quickly.
Who's been hurt?
Steve Faulkner. It's in one of the single cells. Look out! Oh,
What the hell's going on here, then? Yes, is Mr. Faulkner okay? Detention centre. Wentworth!
Quiet! All of you! You'll do as you are told when you are told. Everything is under control.
And the fire brigade.
Hey, Wendy, is Mr. Faulkner okay? Is he dead? Is he blown up or what?
Look, will you let me make this call? I don't know any more than you do. I don't know the extent of the fire, but could you hurry with the ambulance, please?
Do we have to vacate the building? Right. Thank you. No, it's confined to the cell block. We'll be all right here.
Good. Now let's proceed. We're in full agreement, Mrs. Morris, but after seeing that photograph, we have to ask some questions. Was it cheap publicity? Do they intend to exploit the girl?
Oh, I don't think so. I think you'll find that once she starts working there full-time, she'll be treated exactly the same as all the other employees.
But the job, it's not exactly the best in the world, is it?
Agreed. But it is a start, and she chose it herself. I mean, she's not skilled at anything. I know she's determined, and I'm sure she'll make a go of it.
Yes, but unfortunately we've heard that story before. Well-intentioned, I'm sure, but...
Surely the most important thing is that she found it herself. Now, I think that shows incredible initiative under the circumstances. And if it isn't rewarded, I'm sure we could do a lot of damage.
Well... Mrs. Morris, you may bring Driscoll back in again now.
Susie?
Well, Susie,
Yes?
Mrs. Morris seems to have a great deal of faith in you. We've therefore decided to grant your parole license.
Oh, that's great. Thanks a lot.
You may thank Mrs. Morris for her dedication.
Yeah, she's been terrific.
There are, of course, certain conditions. You'll be required to report to a parole officer.
Oh, I don't care about conditions. I just want to get out of Wentworth and make a real go of things.
Well, you've certainly shown a great desire to leave here in the past. Your record makes that painfully obvious. As for making a go of things, I wish you every success.
Why isn't Mr. Faulkner in the hospital?
We were on our way.
Legs conked out.
How do you feel?
Like I've been hit in the head with a sledgehammer.
There are no sign of any burns?
Only superficial ones.
Oh, thank goodness for that.
He may have concussion, so I think he'd better go to Wentworth General for observation.
Yes, of course. Wendy's rung for an ambulance, so it shouldn't be very long. Can you manage him on your own, sister? Smith, were you there when the fire broke out?
Sort of. Just after when it blew up. After? What the hell does that mean?
Mrs. Parole, are you suggesting that Smith knows something about the fire?
Yes, Mrs. Davidson, I most certainly am.
You've got no bloody right to make a
That's
statement
enough.
like...
Mrs. Powell, escort Smith to solitary.
What for? I haven't done anything.
Then you have nothing to worry about, have you? I'll speak to you later.
Oh, all I try and do is help a screw, and look what I get for it.
Oh, Mrs. Barry, I was just on my way.
Oh, it was just in one of the single cells. The firemen have just about finished.
Good, I'll come and speak to them.
Right.
Oh, no.
Not a pretty sight, is it?
It must have been extremely fierce.
Yes, it's got me stumped. I mean, there's nothing to burn apart from the mattress, but look at the walls. Looks as though someone went mad with a flamethrower.
Well, if it got out of hand, it could have meant the whole prison was at risk.
I doubt it. But there is something funny about that extinguisher.
Oh?
I think the police will be very interested when they see this.
Police?
Yep. I think somebody's been playing with matches.
Then we have a firebug.
Seems like it.
Well, I suppose that means the arson squad.
They've been called.
Apparently, this fire was no accident.
Well, yes, I could have told you that, and who did it.
I know you suggested B. Smith, but can you be sure? Did you actually catch her in the act?
Mrs. Davidson, the next best thing. Smith yelled out to Steve Faulkner to watch out before all of this went up.
Now, Smith, perhaps you will tell me exactly how the fire started.
Look, I just happened to be near there.
How very convenient.
It doesn't mean I had anything to do with it. You weren't far away either.
I understand you called out to Mr. Faulkner before the blast
He
occurred.
was running into a room full of smoke on his Pat Malone. Anything could have happened, and did.
Oh, since when have any of you been concerned about the safety of the officers?
Ah, well, there are screws and screws. Now, if it had been you instead of Mr. Faulkner, it would have been a very different story.
That's enough. Now, according to the fireman, that fire was deliberately lit. I suggest you cooperate and tell
Just
me...
a moment.
What's the matter? Can I get dressed now? What do you mean, asshole?
What is it, Mrs. Powell?
Well, have a look at this.
It's just a letter I wrote to one of my relatives. Oh, bloody hell, can't we even write to our relatives now?
So your relative works at the Dispatch?
You will remain in solitary for the time being, Smith, and I dare say the arson squad will want to have a word with you when they arrive.
Susie, wait outside for a minute. I won't be long.
Well, quite a productive morning, wouldn't you say, Mrs. Morris?
Yes, I would. Thank you very much for listening to me.
Let's hope she lives up to your expectations.
Oh, I know she will.
Was there something else you wished to see me about, Mrs. Morris?
Yes, there was, as a matter of fact. As you know, Judy Bryant is going to appeal against a conviction.
Oh, yes, Bryant. I remember.
Well, I don't think she'll have any trouble, do you? I mean, she was wrongly convicted, and we do have a signed statement to prove it.
And you want to know if she's likely to be given her parole license again?
Oh, yes.
Well, if she's cleared, I see no reason why things shouldn't return to the way they were.
Well, that's wonderful news.
Of course, I can't speak for the other board members, but I don't think they're likely to raise any objections.
Good.
Well, naturally, the same parole conditions will apply as last time. Bryant will have to comply with them.
After all she's been through, I think that'll be the least of her problems. Thank you very much.
What did you use on your case? This is starting to give me the tom tits. I'm Jacobine bounced from one place to another like a bloody yo-yo.
Oh, well, at least it beats slogging it out in the sweatshop.
You're going to let us out for lunch, aren't you?
No, you'll remain here until we get a chance to begin the cell search again.
Hey, did you hear what I heard in reception? They've shoved B in the pound.
Oh, well, at least we know she's okay.
But what about Helen's letter?
Oh, hell.
Oh, great. All that cloak and dagger stuff trying to get the bloody thing out of the pound. Now it's back where it started.
We know that, Quinn. We all bust a gut trying to get this set up.
Yeah, well, now we're going to have to go through the whole thing all over again.
Yeah, bugger it. Do you reckon we're going to be able to get that letter from B?
Who knows? She might be able to get it out on the food tray. Then again, she might not. We're just going to have to wait and see.
Well, goodbye, sir. We'll see you again sometime.
Right, Mrs. Morris.
Tell me all about this morning's fire. Was anyone hurt?
Steve Faulkner.
That's terrible, badly.
Well, they took him off to hospital. But he's suffering from shock more than anything. He'll be all right.
Oh, thank goodness for that.
Yes, he gave us all a bit of a scare.
Yes, I imagine he did.
Mrs. Morris?
Susie, I told you to wait outside in the corridor.
I just want to know what I do about my parole. I still can't believe it.
You'll do as you're told for a start.
Well, how long do I have to wait?
Well, only a few days, I expect.
Wendy, I've confiscated a letter Smith and Smart were trying to send to the dispatch. It'll have to go to the police, so would you let me know when the... Susan, what are you doing here?
I was just taking her to the dining room, Mrs. Davidson.
Very well. Would you let me know when the mail is due to go?
Right, Mrs. Davidson. Who is it to go to?
Detective Sergeant Ryan, but I'll attend to that side of it.
Okay.
The screws have got Helen's letter.
Right, are you sure?
Yeah, I heard Davo tell Wendy.
Oh, damn it.
And she's going to make sure it goes to the cops.
The cops? Looks like Helen's going to be around this joint for a while, then.
Oh, bloody screws. Got no chance, have we? Well, how come you know all this?
Of course, it was her hearing today. How'd you go?
Oh, terrific. I got my parole.
Oh, that's great.
Terrific. Out in the big bad world soon, huh?
Yeah, I'm sort of scared.
What of?
Being free, I suppose. I've spent most of my life trying to get out of places like this. Now they're just going to open the door for me. Just seems a bit funny, that's all.
Well, you make sure you keep your nose clean till you are out of here, because then it's just going to be freedom and friends, right?
Well, that's another thing. I don't know anyone on the outside.
Oh, come on, you'll make friends in no time.
Yeah. Well, I suppose you'll be out soon, Jude. At least I have one mate.
You bet you will, love.
Hey, we ought to have a party.
We already had one.
Yeah, we'll have one just for you this time.
It's going to be some party. There won't be any booze left by the time the screws is finished searching our cells.
Yeah, I suppose the screws will be looking for this still.
Well, there's nothing we can do about it, is there? And we certainly can't dismantle the thing. We're just going to have to sit back and hope that they don't find it.
I'm sorry to keep you waiting, gentlemen.
That's all right, Mrs. Davidson. Just smell this.
Alcohol. Am I right?
You are. Very strong distilled spirit, I'd say.
Mrs. Davidson. It must be everywhere. First Birdsworth, and you wouldn't believe how much we found in the cell search. So, the women have us still hidden away somewhere. Well, haven't been able to locate it yet. We'll step up the search. Try the less likely places. I want that still found.
Right.
Mrs. Davidson, I'd like a word with you in your office, please. Straight away.
But I have only just found out myself. How did you...
I believe the so-called facts were volunteered by the fire department itself. Naturally, we want to save the minister the embarrassment of having to confirm such a story. You can deny it, I trust?
I'm afraid I can't.
I see.
3 of our extinguishers were found to contain alcohol.
Only 3? Yeah, I'm surprised. And I take it you haven't been able to find the women responsible?
That is what we are trying to do now. I assure you, as soon as we find the still...
Still? You mean there's a still in this prison and you don't even know about it?
I hardly think it was intended that we should.
Yes, and as usual, security does not appear to be of prime importance.
Security is part of the problem. The restrictions placed on Helen Smart are already causing friction between the staff and prisoners.
They are necessary.
Well, I don't agree.
Then don't, but at least follow our departmental directives. Or find someone who can. Oh, and if there is a still, find it.
Wendy, that conversation we had about sending Helen Smart's letter to Sergeant Ryan, would you keep it confidential, please? I have decided to do something else with it.
reckon we've got to get rid of that bloody still.
Forget it. The screws will be watching us like hawks.
Yeah, and if we do get rid of the still, what are we going to do with the pipes and all that stuff? Well, getting caught with the booze in my cell is one thing. I can always say it was planted. But if they find out we made the stuff, that'll really bugger things up. The screw got hurt, remember? They don't forget things like that.
Yeah, you're right about that.
So bloody right. We'll all end up doing extra time. Oh, we can't let that happen.
No. Maybe we...
Judy, could I have a word with you, please?
Sure.
Outside?
Maybe we can have our cake and eat it too. Now, don't you go away.
What do you mean by that? I think she's got an idea. I hope it's a good one.
So what's all this about, Mrs. Morris?
Well, I had a talk with the parole board chairman this morning.
But my case wasn't due for a while.
It was strictly off the record. Now, he feels that if your appeal is successful, you'll have no trouble getting your parole license back.
That's fantastic. Thanks a million, Mrs. Morris.
Of course, nothing's guaranteed until your case actually comes up.
No, but... Well, it's all over by the shouting, eh? I should say the red tape.
Yes, well, I think you've got a very good chance. Naturally, the same parole conditions would apply.
Oh, I realise that. Well, all we have to do now is get my taxi driving certificate back.
Well, if you like, I can talk to someone at the Transport Regulation Board, cut through some of that red tape for you.
Thanks, Mrs. Morris. You know, it's going to be great driving that taxi again.
Judy, you know, I can't stress how important it is for you to keep out of trouble.
Oh, butter wouldn't melt in my mouth.
I know, but if you were caught with alcohol or were near a certain still, all our efforts would go for nothing.
Mrs. Morris, there's some work I want you to do. Get back round.
What's happened?
The Arson squad want to speak to all the women we think are involved in this business in the interview room.
Oh, I see.
Separately, of course. And I have just thought of 1 or 2 more places where that still could be.
But I thought we looked everywhere.
Not quite.
So, it looks as though my appeal might come through after all, eh?
Hey, little ripper. You'll get your old job back and everything. And we'll get out together, Jude.
Well, if it comes through.
Will, you've got no worries now.
I will have if they can connect me with the booze. And if they find that still, I'm stuffed.
Did Mrs. Morris really say that?
Well, evidently, po-faced Powell is on the trail like a bloody bloodhound. She's not going to stop looking either till she finds it. So that only leaves us with one thing to do.
What's that?
Get to it before she does. I'll need your help, though, honey.
What if a screw catches us in the boiler room?
Well, they won't, will they, if someone keeps knit? Hey?
Yeah, sure. I told you before the bloody thing had to go.
Yeah, well, we'll have to pick up a few things on the way.
What for?
You'll find out. Come on.
What if the screws come in? Well, what are we going to say if they start cutting heads? Oh, God, I'm so nervous I feel crook.
It'll be all right, love.
I think I'm going to throw up any minute.
Oh, Doreen, please, do you mind?
Screws! We can't go in there now.
Love.
No!
Flynn, what are you lurking around here for?
I wasn't lurking.
And what are you doing? You're supposed to be in the laundry.
For the nature, Mrs. Powell, you know, happens to all of us.
Go on, get on with it. Speed it up or you'll be on report. Hurry! Come on, let's get on with it.
And the first thing we got to do is get rid of that booze.
Oh, Jude.
Leave me alone. I'm going to think.
Maybe I could organise the women and get a bucket brigade happening. What are you looking for?
I don't know, but I'll know when I see it. Eureka.
What are you going to do with that?
Oh, just shut up and come along. Now put those things down. I'll need your help. Here, hold that.
What are you doing?
Well, this is the pipe that drains it out, right? Here, now you fasten that bit on there. Give me that. You fasten that bit on there. That's the pipe that fills it up, you see. If I put this on here like this, and we open both of these taps, with a bit of luck, the whole thing should just drain itself out.
Well, you're a real smart cookie, Jude.
Yes, I'm very smart. Hand us the rags. Now, honey, you start filling up those bottles double quick. This thing should still be loose. Yes, it is. Right. I just want to check and see if it actually is moving out. Oh, poo, it stinks. Hand us that bleach, will you? I know this isn't going to help it to smell like a bed of roses, but it should do something to stop the pong. See, it's powerful. Right, have you filled that? Yeah. Pop it in, love, and hand me the coil, will you? Yeah, hang on, that'll do it. It's hot. What's it? I used to do that to Margot. She loved it. Springy little fucker. Right, hurry up. Now, give me a hand, look. Oh, forget it. As they say in the movies, up, up, and away.
Joan, look over there, will you?
How's it going?
Listen, Meg, can you smell anything?
Yes, but it doesn't smell like that stuff in the extinguisher.
It does seem to be coming from over here.
Of course.
Oh. Well, why didn't I think of that before? Come on, Joan, give us a hand, will you? Damn it.
Looks all right to me.
Well, I thought we were going to be on the right track.
Just the general mustiness of this place. I'm not surprised.
No, it's disgusting, isn't it? I'll get the women in to clean it up.
If there is a still, it must be well and truly hidden.
Gee, they're going to send us in to clean up the boiler room.
The boiler room? Where's that?
G'day, Jude. G'day, Dor.
Fun you decided to come back to us, eh?
And how are you, Lizzie? Got a sore head?
Yeah. And my mouth's like the bottom of a bird cage.
How about a nice glass of warm fat? That'll fix you up.
Oh, disgusting.
Well, it's your own fault, isn't it? You got to stop drinking in your cell, mate. You've nearly screwed up the whole booze operation, you know that?
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
Well, I'd probably cop a charge for the stuff they found in your locker. At least you got to drink yours first.
I only meant to have a couple of snorts on us.
Tell us another one.
Oh, look at that.
Okay, I know my own way from here. G'day, girls.
How come the screws let you out?
Oh, don't ask me to figure out how their tiny minds work. So what's the Jen? Did B get my letter off okay?
Well, see, there's been a bit of trouble. There was this fire, and it looks like B's been blamed for it.
They probably found the note on her when they put her in the pound, love.
Oh, hell no. Oh, the bastards. That was my only chance to get an appeal going.
Yeah, we know that, love.
Now I'm going to spend years cooped up in here for something that I didn't even do.
Come on, you're not in the pound now, are you? You can always write another one.
Yeah? And then what? The screws will be watching my every move. They'll see that it never gets out to the dispatch.
Oh, ought to be boiled in oil. It's my bloody fault that the screws cop B and got that letter.
Come on, Lizzie, don't blame yourself. With my luck, they would have found it anyway.
Yeah, well, at least thanks to Dora and me, the screws won't be getting their hands on the still.
What do you mean?
We flushed it through the boiler to get rid of it. And we dismantled the still, hid it in the boiler, along with the booze that was left over.
Oh, that was smart. You're getting as crooked as me.
Yeah, well, somebody has to have the brains round here, Lizzie.
Oh, well, at least it's all right now.
Yeah, but I still have to face the arson squad, you know. Jake, all you've got to do is keep your trap shut. They found the stuff in the locker. The screws found me with a bottle of booze in my hand. But I just told the arson squad that I found it in the garden and somebody must have thrown it over the fence.
Did they believe you?
Of course they didn't, but they couldn't prove anything, so they couldn't do anything.
But they didn't like it much.
What a pong. We got booze in the wash. Booze instead of water.
Well, I think we've just about covered everywhere.
Well, we can't have. We haven't found anything.
Well, perhaps there's nothing to be found.
Oh, no. There's a still somewhere.
Well, I'm beginning to doubt that. I think it must have been brought in from outside.
All that alcohol in the extinguishers and shampoo bottles, that's homemade.
Well, even if it is, I don't think we'll find it. The women will have destroyed it by now.
But a still isn't the smallest thing in the world. There's got to be a trace of it. Just something they've overlooked. We haven't checked the garden shed.
Well, I've got a phone call to make.
Yeah, all right. After that, will you collect Burns from the laundry? It's her turn for the arson squad.
Well, that'll be a waste of time. They haven't got anything out of anyone yet.
Come on, Joan.
Well, let's see what's going on this time.
Yeah, can't go on rewashing the bloody sheds. I reckon they'll stand up to us.
You can shoot peas through them now.
Okay, girls, keep your fingers crossed.
Oh, did you ever smell such a pong?
How much booze did you have?
Well, enough to wash the whole town's laundry by the looks of it.
Okay, girls, back again.
Yeah, put some of this in, honey.
Hey, watch it.
Where's Doreen? The police want to see her.
Oh, strike a light, Mrs. F. You gave me such a fright. I spilled the bleach all over the floor, and oh, God, it stinks.
Yes, Lizzie, it does stink. Now, clean it all up, will you? And where'd you say Doreen was?
Oh, she's gone to the loo.
I'll get it from there. Judy, could I have a word with you, please? I've spoken to a member of the Transport Regulation Board.
Oh, that's great. One more load off my old mind, eh?
No, I'm afraid not. They're not willing to renew your taxi license.
You're kidding.
I'm sorry.
Well, did you tell him my parole would probably come through?
Yes, of course.
Well, then why the hell
Well,
won't they
apparently it was touch and go last time.
Oh,
because
yeah,
your
I
parole-
see. And this was the last straw. Well, isn't that bloody ridiculous? I'm not even guilty.
Look, it's not the end of the world. I'll do my best to find you something else.
And if you don't, I'll never get my parole, will I? I'm going to be stuck in this dump forever.
You can relax now, Jude. Everything's bonza.
Yeah, finally got pure, clean water. Well, almost, anyway.
Oh, who cares?
What's up, love?
Those bastards. They're not going to give me my taxi license back.
Oh, jeez. Rotten mongrels. It's not your fault you're back in here.
Well, does that matter? As far as they're concerned, I'm just a criminal who can't keep her nose clean.
Mrs. Morris will be able to find you something else, won't she?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sure. With my background, that's going to be a breeze, isn't it?
But she will try real hard, Jude.
She can't work miracles, can she, Lizzie? Anyway, who want to hire me?
Hey, why don't we have a competition about who's the pongiest drunk in Wentworth?
Yeah, wouldn't work, love. Lizzie'd win hands down.
That's gratitude for you. I saved your bacon, you know.
Yeah, you sure did. Would have been very hard explaining that it was the sheets that were in the grip of the grape. Hi, ladies. Like you enjoying yourself?
Hey, I'm glad you're back. I did miss you, love.
All right, everyone, just shut up and listen. Now, you all think it's a big joke, don't you? Setting fire to prison property and injuring an officer. As for the illicit alcohol, I know there's a still somewhere. I am going to find it. And I hope you know the trouble you'll be in when that happens.
Well, thank you, Po-Face. Good to see you out, Helen.
Yeah, likewise, Bee.
Hey, B, the cops give you a bad time?
Yeah, funny about that. They kept firing questions at me, but just couldn't seem to get any information out of me.
Yeah, they couldn't make me talk neither.
Hey, what's the latest on the still?
Well, Dora and I dismantled it and hid the bits in the boiler, but
Some of the booze got into the laundry's hot water system.
Yeah, it was a bit of trouble for a while. It got into the washing machines. It's okay now, though, but it did stink. I think a bit of stay under wraps has caused quite enough trouble for the moment. Look, I'm sorry about your letter, love. Yeah. Have you written another one yet?
No.
Well, make sure you do. We're not going to let those screws get away with the bloody thing from now on, right?
Right. Meg, where are you going?
Oh, I'm going down to CES. Judy Bryant's cab licence was turned down.
We're flat out here.
Well, I've spoken to Mrs. Davidson, and it is my lunch hour.
And you're going to spend a job hunting for one of them?
Well, she has to have a job before she sees the parole board again.
Oh, I wouldn't waste my time.
You didn't feel that way about Susie Driscoll?
No, well, that's different. She's just a kid.
Judy has had a run of very bad luck. She needs a break.
She needs a break? Now, come on, what about Steve Faulkner? He's off work because of them.
There's nothing to say that Judy had anything to do with that. Anyway, he's coming along nicely. I'm going to see him tomorrow.
You are getting your spare time tied up, aren't you?
Oh, it's nice to keep busy. Chrissy! Haven't seen you for a while. How are you?
Oh, real good. You know, Mrs. Morris.
And Elizabeth?
Yeah, she's great. Got real big. You wouldn't know her now.
Good. Is everything all right?
Yeah. I've got to go. I've got another appointment.
Of course. Goodbye.
You know that young woman who just left?
Chrissy Latham, yes, I do.
Latham?
Look, I was wondering whether you can help me. I'm from the Wentworth Detention Centre. I'm looking for a possible job for one of our prisoners when she gets out. Am I in the right place?
Well, I'll be able to take care of it over there, miss.
Thank you.
Oh, come on, Jude, snap out of it. Something will turn up. You and Susie will be out of here in no time.
Susie? Crikey, that's not going to be long now.
Yeah, I've been thinking we should all get together and collect some cash and buy her a really nice present before she leaves.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, she wouldn't have had too many prezzies in her young life. What'll we get?
Well, we can't get her smokes or anything like that, but we could get her real cosmetics. You know she's only got that real old lipstick.
Hey, good one. She'd look really stunning with the right stuff.
Yeah, we could give her some lessons on how to use it, too.
Yeah, I bet no one's ever taken the time to teach a poor little beggar anything like that.
Well, you can count me in on that because I'm really good at it.
I don't know, Lizzie. We're talking about makeup, not war paint.
Thank you very much.
Hey, B, everybody. Bloody hell, come and look at this. You're not going to believe it.
I don't believe this. Front page and all of page 3.
Listen to this. This is your stuff, B. Miss Smart's accounts and records will prove she supplied girls under the name Smart's Catering Service for Stanfield's parties, and that these were paid for by his companies.
Oh, that should give Mr. Lillywhite something to think about.
You little beauty thing.
Hey, hang on. There's something wrong here. Listen to this. Detective Sergeant Ryan, the policeman who found the drugs in Miss Smart's flat and had her convicted, has now resigned from the police force and has landed a highly paid job as the head of a Stanfield company, Guards Incorporated.
Crikey.
Well, I don't get it. The rest is my article word for word, but where the hell did that come from?
How did they get your letter?
Yeah, that's right. How the hell did my letter get from the screws to the dispatch?
The last I saw, Davo had it.
Oh, you don't reckon she sent it, do you?
Oh, use your head.
Oh, what the hell's the matter where it came from? This is going to give you good grounds for your appeal, love.
That's right, honey. You're going to be out of here in no time.
Oh, hell, I hope so. I really hope so.
Did you miss your mum when she was away, eh? Has that Auntie Brenda been looking after you properly?
Here's a letter for you. Another pension check by the looks of it.
Tar.
Have you told them you've got a part-time job yet?
Of course not.
But it's been months now.
Well, look, if I tell them, they're going to cut the amount of me benefits, aren't they?
That's fraud.
Oh, cut it out, Brenda.
It's just that I'm worried you get into trouble or something.
You won't have to worry much longer because we're going away from here, OK?
What?
Elizabeth and me are going to go to the country to live.
You can't do that.
Of course I can. I want her brought up in the fresh air.
But she's got a perfectly good home here and me to look after her while you're away.
I'm all she needs.
It's just that she's like my own
Yeah,
little
well, she's
girl.
not yours, Brenda, is she? She's mine.
Derek won't let you.
Well, he can't stop me. He's only my brother. Besides, he's bloody well away working.
Chrissy, for God's sake.
Now, look here. Elizabeth is my baby. OK, so you had a miscarriage. I feel sorry for you.
That's got nothing to do with it.
Hasn't it?
It's Elizabeth I'm worried about. You just can't look after her on your own.
Oh, yes, I can. She's my kid, and she's coming with me, and there's nothing more you can do about it.
Hope I didn't keep you awake last night, Jude. I couldn't sleep for thinking about it. God, it's unbelievable. I'd really given up hope, you know.
Yeah.
After that article in the press, somebody might believe me. Of course, the article mightn't do anything. You know what bureaucrats are like.
Oh, you mustn't think like that, love. You've got to think positive.
Yeah. You too. You're not out of the race yet.
Well, it seems that way. Sitting there like a stuffed dummy. Will I get a job? Won't I get a job? It's kind of scary, you know, having your whole life depend on one thing.
Yes.
Morning, ladies.
Morning.
Morning. Well, how'd you go, Mrs. Morris?
Well, I went to the CES yesterday, Judy. There's nothing around at the moment, I'm afraid.
No, it figures.
It's early days yet. I'll be going back.
Well, thanks very much. Oh, I wish I didn't have to leave it all up to you. You know, I feel so useless.
Well, you can do your bit by staying out of trouble. I want you to stay clear of this business with the alcohol.
Yeah, well, Pal seems pretty desperate to nab someone, doesn't she?
And rightly so. There's far too much of it to have been brought in. So that means there's a still here somewhere. Not to mention the fact that Mr. Faulkner could have been seriously hurt.
Yeah, well, that was an accident, wasn't it?
Yes, but that wouldn't have happened if that extinguisher hadn't been tampered with. You can thank your lucky stars there was nothing found in your cell.
Yeah. I'd have kissed my parole goodbye.
Well, you still could. I know it's been a difficult time for you. You've been upset by this whole
Yeah, well,
business.
it's not easy, is it, being locked up in here for no reason?
So, I don't want to inquire too deeply. Unless I'm forced to.
Right. Thanks.
I'll be keeping my eye out for a job for you. The rest is up to you. Sit tight and be careful. All right?
All right. Thanks again.
Miss Latham?
No, I'm her sister-in-law, Brenda Latham.
I'm from the Department of Social Security. May I come in, please?
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
Chrissy's not home at the moment. Is there anything wrong?
Just making a few inquiries.
What is it you want to know?
Miss Latham lives here with you and your family, is that right?
That's right.
Bit of a struggle, I suppose, at times.
Yeah,
Well, no doubt she helps you out with the pension she gets from us.
it doesn't go far.
I suppose not. Does she have any other sort of financial assistance, do you know?
Just from her job.
Miss Latham works.
Yes. I look after Elizabeth while she's away.
And what sort of job does she have?
Casual barmaid. She's been there a few months now.
Kind of boring having the sheets just smelling of washing powder, isn't it?
Yeah. Maybe we ought to start up our own business. Sniff yourself to sleep with sheets that have had the Wentworth treatment.
Maybe we still can. Now, let's see. 1982 vintage on this one.
Yes, sir. One whiff and you're fast asleep. Beats sleeping pills every time.
Oh, hang on. Now, this lot's going to the old folks' home. Might be too much for the oldies.
Well, I reckon we ought to save it for Susie's farewell party. Looks like a suck on the sheet's going to be the closest thing we're going to get to a drink.
I hope you're all saving up your buy-up stuff.
Yeah, because we're going to need tons of stuff, because it's going to be a triple party now with Susie and you two as well.
Oh, here's hoping, hey, kid.
Yeah, well, I hope Davo lets Lizzie bake a cake.
Let's not get over enthusiastic, okay?
Ellen, there's a visitor for you.
Oh, who?
Your solicitor?
Yeah, well, you tell him I don't want to bloody see him.
Oh, come on, don't be silly. You got nothing to lose. Why don't you see what he wants?
Boy, am I whacked.
Did you get some groceries?
No, I've run out of money.
It's about time you started paying a bit more around here.
Lay off me, will you? I pay my way.
Hardly.
Well, more than you bloody do. At least I work. I don't sit round on my backside all day doing nothing.
This is my home.
So you keep telling me.
And I've got a husband to support me. You shouldn't have to do the same for you too.
Don't you belt up, Brenda. I've already told you we'll be out of here soon anyway.
Someone came to see you.
Who?
A man from Social Security.
What did he want?
Didn't say much. He knows you've got a job, though.
You bloody told him, didn't you? You bloody stupid bitch! Now they're going to check up on me and they're going to find out, aren't they?
You've got something else to hide. You have, haven't you? What else have you been doing besides working when you're not supposed to?
Collecting unemployment. All right with you?
As well as the single mother's pension?
Yeah. 3 lots, if you must know. I needed the dough.
Derek works his guts out to support us. You've been getting all that extra money.
It's not for me.
We've been bloody struggling.
I said it's not for me. It's for Elizabeth, so we can live in the country. Now, just you get off my back, Brenda.
I'll be waiting outside.
Good morning, Miss Smart.
What the hell do you want?
To help you.
You've changed your tune, haven't you?
Not really. But I don't blame you for feeling the way you do. I can only apologize for our last meeting. I think the pressure of work was getting to me.
And you've just read the latest edition of the Dispatch, right? Okay. You can start by setting up my appeal.
That won't be practical.
You've read the Dispatch. It's all there. Stanfield's involvement, the way I was framed. I've got bloody evidence this time.
That's no good.
It's damn good grounds for an appeal.
You might have evidence against Stanfield, but you can't prove that you were framed by Sergeant Ryan.
Ryan is working for one of Stanfield's companies now.
Well, what does that prove? The police will still be more than anxious to prove you guilty. You've made serious allegations against one of them. That's not very wise.
You're threatening me.
Don't be ridiculous. Ryan will be up there giving evidence against you. If you can't prove that he's lying...
They'll always take the word of the cops against the hookers. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Yes. You won't come out of it looking very pretty. I suggest that you plead guilty.
Like hell I will.
Then you can apply for a reduced sentence, maybe even get off with a fine.
No way, you bastard. I know what you want. If I win, you and your mates Stanfield and Ryan will be in real trouble.
If you lose, you'll be in real trouble.
But I am not guilty. I was bloody well framed, and I'm getting up and I'm saying so, and you can tell that to your bloody precious Stanfield.
He used to give me roses. I wish he could again, but that was on the outside, and things were different then. On the inside, the sun still shines, and the rain falls down, but the sun and rain are prisoners too. Around. Last night I dreamed we were together, sharing all the love we'd known, till I had to face the nightmare of waking up alone. On the inside the roses grow, they don't mind the stony ground, but the roses here are prisoners too when morning comes around.